Hey everybody, what's going on? We're gonna do homemade chicken and dumplings today. This is my recipe. It may be different than the one that you use, but I find this one works for me. So let's go through the bill of materials of everything that we're gonna need to accomplish this. This one's a little more advanced, but don't get scared. It's easy to put together. Some of the terms I'll throw at you will be a little bit foreign, but I'll get you through it. This is an easy recipe, and this feeds about 5 or 6. All right, first off, we've got some chicken bouillon from Knorr. These are really good, actually. Really, really good. They're not just like salt like you'd find in ramen noodles. A stick of butter. You know the butter trick. A little bit of garlic. A bag of pre-cut frozen Food Town stew vegetables. It's potatoes, celery, carrots, and onions. Making life easy. A package of thighs and legs. We're going to cook these, boil these down, and take the meat off the bones. Some mushrooms. Pizza seasoning or seasoned salt works just as good, and salt and pepper works just as good too. Lee and Perrin's Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, whatever way you want to say it. Argo baking powder, Argo cornstarch, and I have some unbleached bread flour here, but you can use all-purpose flour the same way, so it's not a big deal. Any kind of flour you have is just fine. And that's it. So we'll get started. Okay, we got our cast iron roaster, and we filled it 3/4 of the way with tap water. Now to this, we're going to put 2 bouillon cubes in here. And these Knorr bouillon cubes are really, really good. So I know the results will come out better than the other stuff. Break that up in there. Now the water is ice cold, and this is important, because what we're doing is we're going to extract flavor from the chicken. You don't want to put the chicken in there when it's boiling hot. You want it to gradually heat up, and the meat will come off the bones a lot easier that way. All right, we take our chicken, put the thighs in there, and we save the legs for our barbecue tomorrow. Put the top on. Okay, now we're going to make something called a roux. What a roux is, it's going to be our thickening agent. It's going to make it taste like chicken and dumplings or chicken pot pie. So we melted the whole stick of butter. You don't want to brown it. You want it to just melt. And to that we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of flour. And the reason that we mix the flour with the butter is so when you add the roux into the chicken and dumplings, we don't want to have big lumps. So the roux makes the flour separate like sand, like beach sand, instead of making big lumps. We're not going to cook this roux. We're just going to get it to go together, get all the flour incorporated, and then we're going to put it off to the side. And a roux, you could leave in the cabinet for weeks and weeks and weeks. A roux doesn't go bad. All right, that's pretty easy, right? That's our roux. Okay, we got our mixer at the ready here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 cup of flour, and we're going to make our dumplings. To the 1 cup of flour, we're going to add 1 kitchen teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're going to add 1 kitchen teaspoon of cornstarch. Jack it up, turn it on low, and start adding your water. We're going to do the water by eye. What we're looking for is we're looking for the consistency of like a biscuit dough. And put a little more flour in there. That's what we're looking for. And there doesn't have to be too much of it, because this is going to expand quite a bit. So we'll take this out and we'll put it in a little container and we'll put it in the fridge. It's important to wash the bowl, the mixer, right after you use it, or it's just going to be a bunch of heartache and a lot of scrubbing. So that's all we came out with, not much. Okay, now we're going to take the chicken out and we're going to let that cool on the table, and then we'll start with the next step. We're going to add the mushrooms. We're going to add our bag of pre-cut vegetables. We're going to put our garlic in here. 1 level teaspoon. Kitchen teaspoon. A little bit of pepper. And 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt. Mix that around. Put the top back on. Now we're going to start working on our whitewash. That's what we did with the roux. So I'll bring you over to the table and we'll start with that. Alright, we're going to start making our whitewash with the roux. This is going to be our thickening agent. So you start off with a little bit of roux in the bottom of the bowl. Break it up. Now we're going to add some of the chicken stock in there. a little bit at a time so that we don't get lumps. Now you see how as the butter melts, it lets the flour go into the broth just like sand instead of big lumpy things. A little more stock. A little more roux. Now the thing about I made extra roux. You can use roux to tighten up anything, any kind of gravy. But when you do it with chicken broth, it basically makes it like pot pie stuffing. And if you made it with beef gravy, you have to be careful not to use too much or it'll turn it white or some kind of crazy unnatural color. Get that all incorporated in there, and we're going to go ahead and add this to our the broth we have on the stove now, and this will turn it into basically like pot pie filling, just a little looser. Okay, we took all the chicken off the bones, and now we're going to add it back into the dumpling mix. Now we're going to start adding our whitewash, and that's going to tighten it up. So mix up your whitewash and just keep it moving. And as the flour cooks that we put in there, and that's the reason why we didn't cook the roux, is it's going to tighten it up. You could use starch, but this makes a better consistency. See how it's starting to thicken up now? As the pot comes back up to temperature, it'll tighten up. Alright, let's go ahead and add our dumplings. You take the dumpling dough out, you put it in your hand. Just like that. Now, little by little, you add it to the top. Now you lower it down to medium-low heat. Put the top back on and wait for those dumplings to cook. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes with the top on, and you can see there's your dumplings. We're going to go ahead and add our Lea and Perrins in there. There's one thing I forgot to mention. Cayenne pepper. Now with the cayenne pepper, you just want to use a pinch. That's a pinch. Not a teaspoon, about a quarter teaspoon. And what that does is it kind of cleans up the flavor of the chicken and dumplings. And that's it. That's how you make old-fashioned chicken and dumplings. Hope you'd enjoy it, guys. Later.